Welcome back to my channel, y'all. So I know it's been a minute since I've recorded or even posted my last YouTube video. To be exact, it's been about 7+ months. And I'm not gonna sit up here and blame it on 2020. We're just gonna leave that all in the past. Now we're into 2021 and I plan on getting back on my ish. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be discussing my fails at being a natural hair influencer. And I specifically have 3 reasons or 3 things that I did wrong when I started this whole natural hair influencer journey. So let's get right on into it. So the first reason is me being inconsistent. This is a big one, and it's a big one because a lot of people struggle with being consistent. So when I first started off doing natural hair, when I first, geared my Instagram page towards natural hair influencing, it's when I first did a lot of ambassador programs, which kind of kept me in line with actually creating content, but I really didn't have no strategy behind it. Like, I literally was just trying to meet my quotas with each brand that I was an ambassador for, making sure that I get content out. There was no strategy behind it. I was just posting. I was posting like once, maybe even twice a day on Instagram, always active in my stories, but I was very inconsistent in the terms of long term. So like in the beginning, I was doing my thing, posting daily and things of that sort, but then along the lines I started to burn out, and I burned out hard. So going back to when I first started, I was pregnant. So after I gave birth, I kind of took a small break, and then I kind of got back into it, but not as heavy as I was when I was pregnant. So that kind of started to get me to slow down on a bunch of things. And again, I didn't have no plan, no strategy, no any of that. So I just was basically posting on the fly, posting whatever I felt like I could just post, or whatever I can get done, I was posting. So yeah. Number 2. Now this one right here is something that I necessarily don't want to admit because it's not in the way that it's said, but it is imposter syndrome. Now, if you don't know what having imposter syndrome is, it's basically like in the sense of you wanting to mimic, or you wanting to basically copy someone else's way of doing things, or just how they execute, or just whatever the case may be. Now, in my case, it wasn't necessarily trying to copy somebody, but I would look at my favorite like YouTubers or influencers and just think about like, dang, what are they doing that I need to be doing so that I can get to their level? I wasn't thinking of it in the sense of, man, Seymone, you just need to do what you do and just be yourself and things like this. So I was just trying to get to numbers fast so that I can start, doing other things and working with more brands. So that's where I kind of fell short. Also, where I had the imposter syndrome. Why is that so hard to say? Like, whatever. Where I had that was looking at my peers. So other influencers that I became friends with that more or less was on my level, like we had about the same followings, I'll also look at them because there was a few that really like skyrocketed in like no time. Like literally we was at the same following and now they're like way up here, and I'm just like, dang, what am I doing wrong? Like, everybody brings something different to the table. Yes, the natural hair community is saturated, but everybody has their own lane. And like I say, and this is what I preach every day, I preach it all day long, you have to just create your own lane. And that's basically it. Okay, so last on my fails list of being a natural hair influencer was being immoderate, aka being excessive, aka doing too much, doing the most. With me, again, like I said before, I was posting literally daily, posting twice a day sometimes, always in my stories, always trying to just get that visibility and that exposure so that I can work with more and more brands. But I realized that I was doing the most. Like there was one point where I was literally into like, I'd say 5 ambassador programs all at the same time, trying to create content, trying to meet my quotas in terms of how many times I gotta post for them, the days that I gotta post for them, what I gotta post for them, making sure that I get out content, washing my hair like almost twice a week just so I can push out that content. I was doing the most. Now, I know y'all like, dang, you was in like 5 ambassador programs. Yes, I was. But you know, again, if you want to know about that, because I know a lot of people on my Instagram has been asking me about like my opinions and stuff on ambassador programs. So if you want me to do a video on it, I will be more than glad to. Just comment it down below and just let me know. A lot of people don't understand that being a influencer, whether it's for natural hair, beauty, lifestyle, it is difficult. It's so difficult in so many different ways, especially when you're juggling life on top of that. Like, it's hard. So it's still a little bit rough because now I am planning on launching my own t-shirt business. I'm also, of course, always being a mom, being a wife, and just working with brands, still doing different things. Like, I have a lot on my plate and I still might be doing too much, but it's something that I love doing. So that's part of why I've been ghost on my channel, because I'm still trying to figure it out. And plus, I just didn't want to just put up content just to put up content, just to put up a video. Like, I really wanted to come back and really come back hard. Like, I want to be consistent, which is the first I, which conveniently I did that. I did it on purpose. I did my little strategies in terms of, okay, these are my 3 points. They're all going to start with I. Influencer starts with I, but whatever. I just wanted to throw that in there. Now, around the time that I got the idea to do this video, I went ahead on my Instagram story. So if you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to go ahead and follow me because I am very active in my stories. And I went ahead and asked you all to give me some questions that you all had in terms of my natural hair influencer journey. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into those questions. How do you deal with getting content out when you may be sick of your hair? Now, since I've been natural for about, this year will be 3 years. I have not done a protective style as of yet, and that's only because of me trying to get content out and things of that sort. So when it comes to getting content out but you're tired of your hair, I would recommend to first batch record your content. So what that means is, if you are washing your hair, or if you plan on washing your hair and you plan on recording it, what I would do is record everything, record your full wash day, record the styling and everything, and then have that broken down into different pieces of content. So already recording your full wash day, if you do YouTube, that's your YouTube video right there. Then you can break that down into different Instagram videos or even reels. So you can have you shampooing your hair as one, you deep conditioning your hair as another video, you styling your hair as another video. That's what I did before, and that's what I would recommend to do. So that way you already have like 3 or 4 pieces of content, and that's just for videos. In the midst of that wash day, you can take some photos of your hair while you're shampooing it, while you're deep conditioning, showing the texture of it, while you're styling your hair, showing your final result, or showing the before and after. That is going to give you at least, possibly, depending on how many times you post a day, how many times you post a week, that can give you probably a week to maybe 2 weeks of content, depending on how you break that up, depending on what you feel comfortable with doing. How do you stay consistent with creating content? Again, I am the biggest procrastinator. I get lazy. And I think part of it is because I do so much outside of creating content that it's like, okay, if I'm gonna create content, it has to be like legit planned from A to Z. Because I have a 1.5-year-old, and I really can get content out when he's sleeping, and that's like an hour window. maybe 2, depending on how tired he is. So I definitely will say to plan your content, meaning take a day out of your week, plan what you want to do, plan how you want your content to come out, what you're going to wear. If this is a photo shoot that you're speaking of, if you're talking about a video, write down the video idea, write down what you want to do, and really set a day and time, not a time, but set a day that you're going to execute this content, so that you know in your mind, okay, this is the day that I'm going to do this is what I'm going to do, so that you're already ahead of it, so that when it comes, it's not like you trying to scramble for, okay, what am I going to do, what am I going to say, or whatever the case may be. That's what I strongly suggest. Plan your content. Does taking a break from your social media affect your activity views? Now, I would never tell somebody to not take a break from social media, because we all deserve a break from social media. I actually recommend you to take at least a day off from social media weekly. Why? Because social media is consuming, social media is stressful, and when it's your job, or when it's like whatever, whether it be part-time, full-time, when you're doing it and you're actually making money from it, social media is no longer just something that you just do. Now it's a part of your life, like in terms of you eat it, you breathe it, you sleep with it. Like, it's consuming, it's very consuming. So when it comes to a break, yeah, it's gonna affect your views and your activity, because when you take a break from social media, you're not doing anything. Your page is basically just idle. But I wouldn't see it as a negative thing, because we need it. You need it. How is it adjusting to editing content in a presentable way for Instagram? So when I look back at my old content before I even started natural hair, I was just like, yeah, I knew that I was just posting content just to post content. But now we're in a time where quality is key. Quality matters. When it comes to editing content, yes, there's a bunch of resources and tools and stuff that you can use to enhance your content, to make your content look better. But it's all about you wanting to invest. So basically, when you want your content to really look the best and really like match up to some of these other people's, it's about you and what you are willing to put into it. Now, I'm not saying that you absolutely need it, because you necessarily don't. But again, Instagram is a platform where visuals matter. And if you want your content to look impeccable, then I definitely recommend to invest. Now, I will list down below in the description box all that I currently use. But there are so many other resources that could be potentially more affordable or even more expensive, depending on how far you're willing to go to get your content to where you would like for it to look. Ooh, okay, next. Do you feel you're getting engagement, or what can you do to gain more engagement? So again, engagement follows back with consistency. Isn't that the key word of this video? But whatever. Consistency is always key. So when it comes to engagement, I feel like it's all dependent on how Instagram is feeling. You know, the algorithm changes often. Now Instagram favors Reels videos. Instagram favors people who gets the most saves, the most shares on their posts. Likes don't even really matter on Instagram no more. But video content, I will say, is probably the most highest ranking type of content that you can do on Instagram. So when it comes to engagement, right now I would say just to push out videos. Let me make sure I'm answering this question right. Hold on. Do you feel you're getting engagement, or what you can do? Okay, yeah. So what you can do to gain more engagement: create Reels videos. Reels videos for sure. Create more 1-minute videos, even actually TV videos. I mean, that kind of falls back on what your audience likes to receive too, but for sure, Reels videos will definitely give you that exposure. Now, in terms of posts, regular photo content, I personally don't ask my followers to like save or share my content because that's just me. I just don't. It is what it is. When it comes to my photos, I don't force it. Whoever's gonna like it is gonna like it. If people want to save it, they'll save it. If people want to share it, they'll share it. That's it. Okay, so next question is biggest lesson that I've learned. The biggest lesson that I've learned so far in my influencer journey, I would have to say, is not having that imposter syndrome. Not looking at other people's platforms and trying to compare myself to it. And what I mean by that, again, is not to say that I'm looking at your page or looking at the big influencers pages or YouTubers pages to see what I can copy. But my way was more of like a strategic way, like figuring out, okay, what are they doing? Possibly who are they following, or you know, the type of equipment that they're using and things of that sort. Like, I would definitely say my biggest lesson is stop doing that. You have to just do what works for you, and I've learned that the hard way, because whew, listen, social media will have you thinking that you need to do this, and it may not be for you. Like, your way is your way. What God has for you is what God has for you. And I know that I will reach who I need to reach the way that it's intended for me to reach these people. I hope that makes sense. So I definitely recommend to do you. What would you have done differently? I honestly would have done nothing differently because I wouldn't know what I know today. Now, if I had to choose something, it would be making sure that I was more organized in how I create content and how I execute content. But overall, I feel as though everything that I went wrong in my influencer journey helped me to learn what I know today and helped me to even expand to do other things that I might have not done if I would have had like more success early on, if that makes sense. I definitely am grateful for where I am today. I'm grateful for all the things that I'm doing right now. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. What would you do over as far as your brand? Now, for my brand itself, I don't know if most of you knew this before, but before, my handle across all of my platforms was Iconic Beauty. And that was derived from just trying to come up with like a catchy name that entailed like the things that I wanted to bring to my page. And this, of course, was before natural hair. So that's how I came up with the name. And then I later on transitioned, or not too long ago, transitioned into Seymone Jackson. Now, I honestly don't think I have anything that I would change, only because everything that we're doing today wasn't a thing back in the days. So, yeah. Okay, last question. Navigating ambassadorships. So when it comes to navigating ambassadorships, if you want to see a dedicated video of me talking about the do's and don'ts of ambassador programs, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely get that out to you. But if I could just give like 3 main things about it off the top of my head. 1, make sure that you have used the products before you go for the ambassador program. 2, I would say to build a relationship with the brand, getting to know the brand, the face behind the brand and everything, because that's very, very important. And 3, making sure that you honestly enjoy and love the products. It's one thing to review a product for a brand and you giving your honest feedback, but it's another to actually be an ambassador for a brand and then you don't like the products. But again, I can get into more detail about that in another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Seymone. I hope you decide to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. And for everyone who came back, welcome back, welcome back. And yeah, so yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, and until next time, bye.